Hello, YouTube. I know that we're going through some really troubling times at this point. There's a lot going on in the world, but just know that even if this helps out a little bit, be there for the people you love, be there for the people you care about. Know that we're for the most part we're always here for everyone. Stay safe, stay alert. Be yourself. Try and get some rest first off if you can. Uh, know that we love everyone, especially those of you guys that are going through it. That's people in Ukraine and whatnot. We appreciate every single one of you guys that do watch the channel. With that being said, we're an ape. Ape is ape. Wow, what am I thinking about? Apes. We're in episode 6 uh, of Bakemonogatari. I don't think there's nothing else other than join our Discord, hit that like button, subscribe, comment down below. It really helps the channel grow. The videos are probably not going to be monetized at all because too many things. But anyway, let's go ahead and run into it. Isn't this episode 1? Oh, it's not. Wait. Wait. Why is she still following him? Does she still have the same effect? Hi, YouTube. Hi, Alan. Ooh. Does she still have the same effect, guys, or no? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. My dude thought he got out of it. I feel like she wanders where she wants. No, I feel like, no matter what ends up happening, I don't know, it's like this is gonna sound fucking weird, but I've been thinking about this. Uh it's like wherever he goes, people tend to stick to him. So, for example, I don't know what happened with Hanekawa or any of that, right? I don't know how the relationship started. I'm assuming it'll get clarified later on. But Senjigahara helps, sticks, you know. Who else? He turned from a lost spirit to a wandering spirit. Oh, well. And so on and so forth. You guys know what I'm getting at? It's like the individuals that he helps stick around, which can be either really good or really bad going forward. But anyway, I'm just Hachikuji can do as she pleases now, which is great. Absolutely great. Hello, Ronnie. Bro, it's like she's speaking my mind right now. It's kind of funny. That's exactly what my mind was going for. It's like study time, bro. We've all been there, or at least I've been there. I'm not sure how many of you chatters have been in there. We're gonna go study. We're gonna go watch, we're studying for something that's coming up. Yeah, bro. Okay. Okay. Though for you, I kind of, just because of the way that you've handled the situations, I feel like you might take that too literally as well. Yeah, let's do some research. Why don't you help me with my thesis? You know? Clearly, my man Ararakun, has not heard of NFTs or rug pulls. You know? Clearly, my man be thinking that you can't be swindled without a rug underneath you. No, but what I was really gonna point out is it's good to see that they actually do have the same I don't know, put it like relationship pattern. Uh, that they're still able to go and communicate and have fun and have these discussions and have at least this venting opportunity for one another. I don't know how else to put it. Like in chat, how many of you guys think that you're introverted or extroverted? Just throw it up there. Bitcoin already existed. Yeah. But and there's a point that I'm making towards this. I feel Okay. So having, for example, introverted nature versus extroverted nature, you can already start going off of some assumptions. Like, you prefer to be like have stuff where you have it, like alone, not really necessarily like alone forever, but like having your alone time, having your you time, um, being able to focus on what you want to focus. You don't need to feed off of social energy. Um, in case you guys are wondering what am I getting to, it's like there are some people that are extroverts that you can even call them like social vampires, i.e. they get energy off of the people that they're interacting with, which is why you see them like constantly like go to parties and whatnot, and you might get like socially drained. How many of you guys have experienced drainage? And yes, I am tying this into to this. Like you're at a party, you're at an event, you might be hanging out with a group of friends before COVID, so on and so forth, and you're just like, all right, I'm fucking tired. I'm fatigued and I haven't done shit. I've just been with you guys, but you guys are so, either energy wise, like extroverted or doing something, and you're just like gone. Mwah. Yep, 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 yep. Well, even if you don't get furried, it doesn't necessarily apply to everyone, but a majority of people do have like it's funny, this is sort of like a term that I've been thinking about coining or whatnot, like just thinking about it like in a psychology field, because not a lot of people like to talk about it. We know it exists, but we don't really like know the proper terminology behind it. But I think about it like a health bar for social engagements. If you're extroverted, you can think about it like a Dark Souls boss that has like like a giant ass health bar. And if you're introverted, the way that I think about social engagements is like you have three hearts and you're in the Legend of Zelda, and like the more people that gather, like you take like a hit. The more activities that are done, you take another hit. And so on and so forth. you know it's awful for long road trips. Yeah, that can definitely affect scenarios like that. um and that's the thing, it's like work from home has given people the opportunities to actually grow and develop inside of their introverted nature, and at the same time for extroverts it can completely like maybe even dampen them a little bit. But the reason why I'm getting that, how many of you guys often talk to yourselves? We're analyzing this in a more normalized sense. Like you have internal monologues, you're able to go ahead and like talk things out rationally. You might sometimes even remember a joke and be like, that was funny, man. That was super fucking funny. Or like you're working on something, you're like, you know what? Maybe like in a week or so, I should start focusing on doing this. And if I do this, maybe in the future, I can go ahead and do this. You know, like how many of you guys have those internal monologues? to go ahead and process stuff. And also, while you guys are answering that, I'll let you guys. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you say it out loud for emphasis because it's a good way to have like the conversational start. It's a good way to process information and heal as well. By the way. This is I don't know how to put it. It's how we like it, self talk. There we go. Self talk. Super duper important. A lot. Yeah, no. So in case you're wondering, there's a difference between good self talk and negative self talk. Self talk in general, like having the ability to like sit down, you're walking around, you're like, oh shit, I fucked up. I shouldn't have done that. Or, you know what, like maybe next week, we should start focusing on this. Or, hey, you're such a fucking dumbass. You should have sent that text message 5 minutes earlier. So on and so forth. Or even when you're driving, sometimes you can be like, oh, you can have that self talk. Self talk allows you the opportunity to heal and process trauma. So in why am I getting to this, so on and so forth. And granted, for us on Twitch, we can see this. For those on YouTube, it'll probably be a black bar just for the subs. But the reason why I'm touching on that is simply because when it comes to healing, when it comes to being able to go over something, let's take away just the supernatural element for a second and let's go into the element of what healing is, right? Healing is being able to go ahead and one, you'll experience relapses, but two, you're also developing the proper communication skills and network inside of your brain to start adjusting to the problems at hand, right? So I wonder, this is one of my biggest things is I've always thought that Araragi or Ararakun was introvert in nature, right? Kind of obvious at that point. I wonder, as a psychologist, I would say like how often he does self-talk to process trauma, to process events, to process scenarios in his everyday world. What his natural support network looks like, which so far we've seen very few. And no, I'm not talking about Oshino. I'm literally just talking about like the individuals that he can count as friends, real individuals, like living individuals. Dark Thug, yeah, yeah. So we're gonna put it in this scenario where he's just talking to himself. Because if you're an outside person looking in, you would only see a person talking to themselves, right? Because this is a wandering spirit now, you know. So how many individuals does he have close to him? Probably, so on and so forth. How's his relationship with his family? So on and so forth. And one of the biggest things that I wonder is if there's been a shift, right? Because at some point, especially if you are introverted, you've had to battle against societal expectations of being an extrovert. Or something big, something traumatic, something unique happened that made you switch from, trying to appeal to the social settings of communication or like active communication, like having big groups of friends, to like settling down to a closer knit group. Being introvert doesn't mean you don't have any friends. It literally means that like you prefer to have your you time while you can also have a select group of friends. Being on Discord, by the way, does not count as like being extroverted, throwing this out there. You can have 100,000 friends on Discord. Doesn't mean you're an extrovert. It just means that like you can actually manage your conversations. That's a difference, right? Um, but the point I'm getting at is like support structure, so on and so forth. It makes me wonder, and it makes me wonder if there's anything that happened between like, I don't know, like elementary school, or middle school and high school specifically. No, bro, you can have like you can be in 1,000 Discord servers. Doesn't mean you're an extrovert, dude. You can literally do 101 things. Like you can have 1,000 IRL friends. Doesn't mean you like social gatherings. You might have become friends with them like individually, like on a one-on-one basis. It does not mean you're an extrovert. True. True. But yeah, my point being is like I'm just wondering about either was he always introverted as a kid, or did something big happen in his childhood, or in a transition period. Transition periods are like those big milestones, like elementary school, middle school, high school, uh, where you're growing up, hormones are kicking in, so on and so forth, where he might have become more introverted or pessimistic or something, you know? Bruh, damn, this running. Oh shit. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Oh no, no. Oh no, no, no. Anytime a new character is introduced to Ara Arakun, I'm instantly gonna think something bad's gonna happen to him. No matter what, dude.
さっきからどうしたんだよ。こんな仕組まれた奇遇がありえるか。思いつきそうでなかなか思いつきそうにない。
What is she, like super strong or super hairy or something, dude? Like, what happened to her arm, dude? Like, is underneath her like bandages, like just like like super buff or Shoe? Oh, poor Shoe. Like, what are we talking about here?
状況に即した一言だったな。お前、放課後は部活なんじゃないのかよ。
You ever hear the thing? It's like nobody approaches you for no reason. There's always a reason for an encounter. Like, especially when you're in high school or whatever, like, you know, unless they're trying to be unless they're really, really extroverted and like they're actually able to like, I don't know, go out and talk to you to try and make friends. But like, most people make contacts because of a goal, a decision that's in mind. Either they were assigned or a pairing group, or you play games online and you met through there. Like, there's always a goal or a decision behind something, um, behind that. But there's always more of a purpose. I.e., for example, people in student council would often talk to, or at least when I was in high school, would talk to like other individuals to try and get them to be really friendly with them, to try and get them to vote for next election, um, or especially with Ara Arakun, is to do with specifically the fact that he's like Oprah right now, dude. He's like helping out everybody. You get help, you get help, you get help. Like, are these weird situation entity things naturally attracted to him? Like, not sort of the entities, but like maybe the entities. Huh. Now that I think about it, because it could be like people just naturally looking for help without necessarily saying that it's help. But maybe it's also just like, huh, there's a there's a weird saying in well, not really a weird saying, I guess. For psychologists, it's usually like groups of people, like, it's common saying for you guys, which is like birds of a feather flock together, right? But when it comes, yo, I got a game. What game, brother? Let us know. But no, when it comes to like specifically, like, for example, taking that saying and applying it in a psychological sense, yeah, he's a magnet of problems. Like, for example, beast will attract beast. High level individuals will attract high level individuals, so on and so forth. It could be good or it could be bad. Like, you can attract them as friends, you can attract them as enemies. The stand users attract each other. Yeah, that's sort of the point that I'm getting at. It's like, I wonder if he's like a natural magnet uh for these things, these people. And it's interesting how all of them have to be with, like, aside from Hachikuji or Hachikuji, whatever, like Senjuko Hara is at school, Oh, well, it said, yo, I got a game. That's literally what you typed out, brother. I thought you meant like, yo, I have a game for you guys to play later on stream. I was about to be like, yeah, drop it in chat, man. I didn't know you got an ad. That's awesome.
こんなところにいていいの？情勢について荒木先輩の意見を聞きたいんだ。
Oh shit. You don't want to know, bro. You don't want to know our thoughts right now. This is probably not the conversation for us to have. Bro, this is probably not. Oh man, even fucking yeah, the timing of this. You guys are the ones that chose this, but the timing of this is Ooh, here's a good question. Is Haji Kuji, yeah? Well, I'm pretty sure the mods will quickly check it out for non-TLS stuff as always. But yeah, I'll look into it. But is, like, are wandering spirits more scared of individuals with, like, like giant beast, so on, like demons and whatnot. So, hey Shakat, how you doing? Hope you're doing good, Shakat. Yeah, here's an interesting point. I was just about to say that. How many of you guys have ever been extremely pressured or have taken part of a sport group, chess team, I don't know, anything, and like been extremely pressured to keep your performance up? Soccer, could be football, whatever you guys are, or like an organized sport, an event, could even be like League of Legends, or I don't know, dude. Whatever you guys play, like that's in a group setting. How many of you guys have been a part of a group or something? Swimming, yeah. Well, I'm kind of jealous. You know how to swim. It can be anything, just an organized like group thing. You can be playing video games with the group, but you're like consistently trying to like tennis. First off, Shakat, that's pretty impressive. Fucking tennis is cool. Table tennis for that reason. I don't care, dude. Anything where you've been like participated for like a good little bit, um, and like my thing is, how hard is it in like group settings, especially when it comes to like group events, group whatever? Say that you're doing really good, you're sort of like a foundational member, like people really rely on you. How much pressure is placed on you then how hard is it to quit? You know, because I'll be honest, like it can be one of the hardest things to go ahead and like face it at a young age is being able to put up your boundaries to say no, or being you're putting up your boundaries to quite literally like quit a sport or take a break or anything like that because of the expectations that are placed on you. Now there are healthy expectations, which is like we want you to go ahead and do better, and then there are really, really unhealthy societal expectations that can sometimes be put on by your teammates or your coach. In which case, your coach might be like you're letting everyone down, using manipulative tactics, and your teammates as well. Like, and that's why like at such a young age, like in high school and middle school or whatever, like it can be really, really, really detrimental to someone that's trying to like grow up and do something. So I've always thought about that. If you guys have ever had to quit a sport or something and you guys were like really, really good at it, I just wonder how that was for you guys. Oh, oh, Fent. Oh, pobrecito. But like that's like I don't know how else to put it other than like people like over time, even if you're really, really bad, if you're just like actively being there, like they'll become on there unless you don't like participate at all, like you're not talking to anyone or. But for example, I've when I was a kid, I still trained in martial arts. I still teach martial arts for this if you guys don't know. But when I was a kid, like especially in middle school, high school, I started to hate karate. Started to hate mixed martial arts in general because I had to do it since I was 3 years old is when I first started, right? So when I was hitting those ages, man, I hated it because it took up like my 5 to like 8 p.m. I was like every day, almost every day, of doing karate or doing martial arts. Uh, but I remember that there was so much pressure, not just from my teammates, because sometimes it'd be like team competitions or fighting competitions where it's like 2-on-2 or 3-on-3 or, 1-on-1 until like, you get all the way to the top, so on and so forth. But, you know, it was like, how do you have, especially when your family runs a dojo and whatnot, how do you have this conversation where you might need to take a fucking break because you're getting burnt out from school and whatnot? So it's a lot of like pressure and a lot of power, you know. And even in school, when you're in like drama or you're in like music or like band, for example, stuff like that can definitely come back and like I don't know how to put it, like it can surmount to a lot of pressure, a lot of different pressure from many different avenues.
それにしても勉強を教えるのって難しいものなのね。
Hmm. 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 Why is she writing Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address? What the fuck? All right. I was in Taekwondo. I was a yellow belt. Oh shit, cool, dude. That's awesome. I did technically back in the day before it was turned into like full mixed martial arts. It was called freestyle karate, which is like every single like different styles of karate that are placed in together. So I did judo. I did Krav Maga. I did Kempo karate as well as some jujitsu. I've been doing jujitsu here and there, especially just picking up my ground game a little bit more. Boxing. What else have I done? I've also done some Wing Chun, uh, and so on and so forth. Like it's been like taking different pieces, different martial arts pieces, and like having different instructors throughout my time period. Super fun. Also kendo and fencing, in case you guys don't know. Yeah, I also picked that up. She really takes from the founding fathers, apparently. You can get from her action. What, writing? I don't know, dude. What is she trying to do? Liberate the situation? Lunar, I made it into black belt in Taekwondo, wasn't too into competition. I feel like the competitions that I had and the competitions that you guys might have had might have been a little different. I know in Taekwondo it's point sparring, right? Where it's like you guys go for points. Which can also be like very riddled and like political decisions based on like and based on like I don't know the school that's organizing it, the judges that are present, so on and so forth. Like you can have a lot of hypocrisy inside of that point system. A lot of the fighting or competitions that I went to was quite literally like uh 3 2-minute rounds of just going hard, going ham. You get knocked out, you get knocked out, dude. That's the best way I can put it. Um, yeah, or like sometimes it was just like a solid 3 or 4 minute round, which it goes by quickly when you're
まあ
fighting.
おそらくはクリアできるでしょうけれど、これからのこと、
Looks like a
一
mafia.
体どういう風に考え
Sí,
て
a veces.
これからのこと？
進路のこと、
進路って
Ahorita hablo sobre
い
eso
きなりそんなこと言われても
específicamente.
学校で手に職をつけるという選択肢
Oh
はある
shit.
のかしら。
お前は僕の親なのか？
親、何を言っているの？
Bro, she is like one of the okay, straight up. If you have a significant other that's like this, that's a keeper, dude. Someone that's actually willing to bring up stuff like, what are you planning for the future? Like, not necessarily like throwing it at you, but like sort of questioning, like, yo, what are you planning on doing? Like, are you planning on going to vocational school or university, or planning on getting a job? Like, how do you want to like go ahead and sustain yourself in that regard? A lot of people actually kind of get triggered when it comes to conversations like this, but it's super interesting and actually pretty cool that they're like that's when someone does that, because it like, especially if you're in a relationship, you're able to align your goals, right? You're able to go ahead and talk about it and be like, hey, you know what? Like, if I work here and you're doing school there, we actually have time to see each other. Like, disregard or do this, or maybe we can like go on and so forth. A lot of people have like, oof. But like a lot of people, I'll get to that more in a bit. Like, I'll stop. But my ex cried every time I brought it up. In fact, like that's the thing, is like it shouldn't. When people cry about it, and this is the number one thing, like it's sort of a red flag, immediate red flag for me when I'm dating someone and I bring, or we're in a relationship and I bring this conversation up and they get like trying to avoid the topic, deflect it, cry about it or something, because it means to me personally that they're not thinking about what the next steps are. So they're living in the moment. It's okay to live in the moment, but at the same time, it's like if we're in a relationship and I want to build a future with you, I'm going to talk about what my next steps are to go from point A to point Z, Like, I don't have to have all of it figured out, but like, for example, in 5 years, I want to go ahead and do this, or like maybe in the future, I want to go ahead and attain this, or I'm going to try and move in this regard. But if I start crying and I start deflecting, how committed am I to the idea of settling down and trying to put forward future plans? That's sort of the philosophy that like I always have with stuff like that, especially if they get like, it's okay to not have plans and like be thinking about it, but like actively deflect or actively like cry or try and turn it into a discussion, like an actual argument. That can be it can be a red flag. 2 to 3 minutes of action. Yeah, but I mean, that's good, dude. Like, that's how you learn. I think for like for points, I was never really a fan of points in general, just because point sparring always annoyed me. Again, there's a lot of weird politics avoided on it and everything. But when it comes to like, sort of like UFC, pre-UFC, like actually going at it until you knock someone out or make them submit, that's always fun because you can actually go ahead and see how effective your martial arts is in a battle against someone, instead of just like touching to make contact, actually touching to do damage. How much damage can you do? Super fun either way. Really good to learn both sides, because one of them you learn control, the other one you learn more of like the actual fighting aspects. Y sí, en México bastante de las veces sí parecen un poquito como los mafiosos o los narcos, ¿no? Cuando se miran con los trajes blancos o negros a veces, los de taekwondo, Alan. But yeah, anyway.
しいから。
本当にひどい
Bruh.
ことを言うな、お前は。
煩わしいと言っても恋煩いよ。
お反応が難しいふりだな、それ。
So you guys can self-reveal or not. I don't really mind if you guys don't answer this question, but when it comes to, if you guys have ever been in a relationship for a long time, or for a while, a couple months, whatever, how many of you guys have ever been tempted, right? I'm not gonna say into like cheating, but like tempted into like the possibility of what a relationship would be like, or a different relationship would be like, while being in a relationship? How many of you guys have gone into something like that? I feel like a majority of people have always like especially when the relationship's taking like a downturn or there's like the stagnation period, right? The period where like you're sort of trying to figure out and like work shit out. Um, trying to like be called the boring period of times, where like yeah, it can literally be the worst, most guilty feeling ever as well. Because if you truly care about your partner and you're like, man, if they only paid a little bit more attention or like, we could work shit out or so on and so forth, you know. But like we can really put a lot of pressure on ourselves and a lot of guilt on ourselves when we're feeling certain things. Yeah, the guilt can be really, really horrible, especially if I guess you're a normal individual and like, because some people can literally silence their guilt and like that's how you get a lot of people that can like do a lot of like uh, actions and stuff that they're not proud of later on, you know. But what I'm getting at is like when it comes to situations like that, the number one mistake that you can make in and like I've done this mistake uh uh, pretty much like anyone that's like ever like in the verge where they're like this relationship's rocky and like I really care about this person, I don't want to lose them, but I'm also starting to get feelings for this other individual or whatever, is to try and like force the relationship to work. Like I don't know how to put it, like moving in together, doing like really big actions that you weren't taking previously can literally just automatically force the relationship to break unknowingly because of the big change in tempo, right? Um, that stability of like what I call like the desert, right? Kind of funny because that's where I live. The barrenness of like, sometimes just stagnating where it's like at first you guys were so lovey dovey with one another, and then it's like it turned into sort of like, what is love? Are we really even showing affection? Is love only when we have sex, or is love actually when we're communicating and trying to build towards a better future? But what about all this downtime? All this downtime where sometimes they sort of push me away. They're sort of putting up boundaries and walls. Like, how can I fix that? I feel like I'm distancing myself. I feel like this wall is getting too heavy, or I feel like if I reach out, it might be too much. I'm getting to the point where I can't even communicate with them because guess what? If I communicate with them, they're taking hours to reply or days to reply to me for one simple thing that I'm asking. Like, I'm not even asking for like a full paragraph. I'm asking like, hey, do you need something? Or like, do you need something from the grocery store? Hey, do you want this? And they're not even replying to me. Like, how important am I, or what is the priority level that I am in this individual's life? You know, and that's the point I'm bringing up. It's like trying to force something or trying to push together a relationship, living together, so on and so forth, can automatically, literally, push it into a rupture point or a break point because you're not feeling centered in a relationship. No matter what they tell you, because I've had this argument with parents, because if you talk to parents, it will always say a relationship should be 50-50. You should compromise or you should compare yourself to, or, like, how do you put it? Like, come to an agreement with your partner as to what you can and can't, like, who you are socially. No, absolutely not. Let me go ahead and break this myth immediately. If you want a healthy relationship, you are you 100%. They are themselves 100%. The extra that's left over from both of you being complete individuals, that is what should form a healthy relationship. Sometimes they might be at 95, 60%. Sometimes you might have to put a little extra. Sometimes they might have to put a little extra. But that little bit extra, the 10% extra, or like the 15%, because sometimes we say we give it 120% or 110%. The extra 10%, it's you guys coming together as complete individuals that come together. You guys are like, hey, you know what? We don't need to rely on each other as much. We're trying to enjoy the beauty of life. Really, we're not trying to become codependent of one another and like, sometimes even become spiteful because of it. Socially, you should never have to change yourself throughout the relationship unless it's something like a boundary setting, i.e., like, don't make out with other people. Like, especially if you're in a relationship and your partner is not okay with that. That's normal, right? But if you're talking about like, you're a very friendly person, you like to say hi to people, or you and your bros have like a bro code, like a bro handshake or whatever, you should never have to change yourself in that regard, nor for parents, nor for anyone else. Be the best you that you can be. And if you have nothing to feel guilty about, then there's nothing to do it. If you feel guilty about it, it's okay to talk about it and be like, hey, you know what? I'm kind of feeling this way. Are you okay with that? Are you not okay with that? At that point, it's up to you and your partner. No one else should be able to come in there and be like, let's limit you socially. Let's try and stop you from saying or doing certain things. The reason why I'm relating that is because I wonder if, like, this early in this relationship, if it's totally cool or okay to go ahead and push them together. Like, I get the point of, like, because especially when going to a university, um, I'm sure a lot of you guys have either started college or about to go to college or something like that. But if you were in a relationship, how many of you guys had that fear, if we're not like living together, if we're not close by, we're gonna break up? Our relationship's not gonna go good. We might have to, or like we might have to live together. We might have to like have similar classes or days off or try and plan our schedule or something. Otherwise, the relationship might not work. Yeah. And the number one reason why I'm bringing this up is because, like, it happens so often. Yeah, it happens so often. Or like there's this like weird expectation of time and pressure that is put on us as individuals to try and appease to other people. I.e., if you're like, hey, you know what? And sometimes even moving in like that, like immediately, especially from high school to college, that'll cause a relationship to break, or you'll hear the worst thing ever, which is like, we need to talk, or I want to explore more options, especially while you're already living together, which I want to explore more options. I'm sorry. It usually means that they want to fuck around. Best way I can put it, dude. No way to like break it easy. That's just general, like the general consensus when it comes to something like that. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with you or who you are as a person. It has more to do with their own growing expectations, communication style, so on and so forth. The reason why I'm getting at this is because, like, literally moving in together, like, right after university or something like that, unless you've already had, like, a really good, stable relationship for a while, that, like, you've gone through your ups and your downs and you know how to work things out, it can be a breaker. And even for those that have gone through their ups and their downs, it's still, majority of the time in a university, it leads to a breakup.
ところで知っているあららつまり荒木くんの臨終の際
You'll be
一
what?
番そばにいるのがこの私ということになるのよロマンチックじゃない
嫌だ
That's kind of fucked up. I ain't gonna lie.
お前に殺されるのだけは嫌だ誰にどんな殺され方をされてもお前に殺されるよりマシな気がする
何よそんな
Fuck me,
私は嫌
dude.
よ荒木くん
The last thing you want to hear is you take your last breath as I kill you. Like, what are you doing? What are you talking about, dude? Like, what do you mean by that? That's so weird. Like, it's an interesting conversation to have in general, but still, like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah, okay. But it's out of a sarcastic tone. Like, I would rather have this conversation than, like, hey, I fucked your best friend. Just saying, like, this conversation, or like the infidelity conversation that a lot of people have to encounter at some point. I don't know, dude. I feel like I'd take a sarcastic nature any day over someone that can't take a joke, for example, dude. Hell yeah.
が私以外の誰かに殺されたなら私はその犯人を殺すわ約束にどうして荒木くんがここであの子の名前を出したのか教えてくれるかしらやましいところがないのからちゃんと説明してくれるわよね
Mommy? Sorry, mommy? Sorry.
そう
Mom? Like, no, dude. Like, you also got to stand up for yourself. Like, bro, this is a two-way street. You can't just you can't just let yourself be stepped on like that, dude. You also got to be like, yo, I can talk to whoever I want as long as I'm respecting what a relationship is, dude. Like, fuck that shit, dude. Are you kidding me? Like, can you imagine if, like, you just completely let yourself be rolled? Like, it's okay to, like, have a partner you care about. Oof. Masters, if you like being stepped on, you like being stepped on. No king shaming here. But in a relationship, you should at least still be able to stand up for what you believe in, even if it's like talking to other people. Yo, mommy, sorry, mommy, sorry. Yeah, exactly.
ねえ荒木くん
Fuck.
なんだよ
上は洪水下は大火事なんだ
そりゃまあ
I am so glad that that was phrased that way. Oof. If it was backwards, I would have questioned that a little bit. Oh, Hopefully you guys get what I'm saying. Here, I'll back it up a couple seconds. If this phrase was backwards, I would question it a little bit, but we're good. We're good.
洪水したは大火事なんだ。
そりゃまあ風呂釜だろ。
ブッブー。答えはカンバル駿河の家よ。
Oh shit.
学校のスターの家に何をするつもりだ。
まあ冗談
Great. Great.
カンバルはね、荒木くんより
Great. I didn't even state what it was. And you're going ham on me. Damn, brother.
1年前
Damn.
に私の秘密に気づいたの。
そうなのか。
私が2年生になったばかりの頃、つまりカンバルが直江津高校に入学してきた
We all know. Sure.
あの性格からするとあいつは。
今は違うわ。赤の他人よ。
しかし。
Ain't that the saddest fucking thing out there, yo? Like, straight up, you guys might have been really close friends in middle school or high school, and then, like, you see them in adult life and, like, they ignore your existence or you have to ignore their existence. Like, even with previous relationships or relationships that ended really fucking shittily, like, you know, it would probably hurt more to talk about it or try and be adults about it than, or, like, acknowledge their existence that, like, you know, you guys might be shopping at the same place and you see one another than anything. Or with friends, you know, sometimes you guys outgrow friend groups and like you guys might have been super duper close, and then like you guys you know, you guys like see each other at like, you know, later on, and you guys end up pretending like you guys don't exist. That can sometimes really fucking hurt depending on the level of closeness you've had. And it's okay, guys. Life is about growing up. And sadly, as you grow older and go older, not really sadly, it's more like due to maturity and like life paths, your circle of friends will get shorter, guys. Like of IRL friends, at least. It'll get smaller and smaller just because of that. And then like when you have kids, it might also just turn into like, you know, like a different social group with that as well. That's what I put it. But yeah, no, I'm just talking about everyday life, man. Like just with that included.
じゃあなんでか。
5歳を心がけなさいよ、荒木くん。戦場ヶ原さんは真面目そうだから、まあただれた付き合いにはならないと思うけれど。戦場ヶ原さんは難しいよ。それこそあんまり知った風なことを言うつもりはないけれど、戦場ヶ原さん、難攻不落のセルフフィールドを作っちゃってるからさ。荒木くんも持ってるやつね。セルフフィールド自体はプライバシーとか言って誰でも持っているものだけれど、戦場ヶ原さんや荒木くんはそこでさらに籠城戦を繰り広げちゃってるわけ。
Okay, good. I'm glad you're going this way, not the other way. I thought she was about to start implanting commands, bro. Which, if you guys don't know what commands are, it's when like people start, outside personnel, friends, family members, whatever, start implanting seeds of doubt. And it happens in every relationship at some point or another, where people overstep their boundaries, and so they'll start implanting seeds of doubt in your mind through minimal interactions that we do as human beings, that like no one, like they don't have to have a degree in psychology to do this. This is already like a social structure in which every culture has it, that we can show slight disapprovals without necessarily saying that we disapprove of certain things, i.e. like, oh, like for example, you got a new girlfriend. Oh, cool. You know, did she, you know, does she have a degree? Oh, that's interesting. Is she studying in anything? Oh, she's not, you know? Yeah, I was thinking not taking away her independence. I'm talking about like the minimalistic actions, like, you know, showing slight disapprovals, or even being like, oh, she has too many friends. Oh, she hangs out with only her guy friends. That's a bit interesting. You know, I might not be saying, hey, yo, that's kind of fucking weird that she's like, you know, they're only hanging out with their guy friends or their girlfriends, you know, but I'm sowing that seed of doubt unknowingly to try and cause some kind of argument between both of you later on, you know. It's not, and no, by implanting commands, I quite literally mean implanting commands, because you're implanting, yeah, you're implanting like doubt. You're implanting different feelings that are not theirs to begin with, right? in Alan, and amigo, también pasa en la cultura mexicana. It also happens in American culture and Mexican culture and pretty much any culture around the world. Uh, with, for example, with Mexican cultures, for example, I'm Mexican American. Uh, one of the biggest things I can put out there is Spanish, brother. You gotta learn Spanish. Not really Mexican. One of the biggest things that yeah. Ah, yes, the Mexican. Yeah, one of the biggest things that we'll throw out there is, "Ay, tus amiguitos," or like, oh, that's like, oh, and your friends. Wow, you know. Sorry, yeah. All right. Yeah, but we say almost say face to face. Well, even in face to face, because sometimes it could just be like a thing. Like, for example, it doesn't even have to be relationship based. Like, uh, how do we put it? It might be so overt sometimes that we just take it as a joke. Por ejemplo, ay, que cochino tu cuarto. Like, oh, how dirty is your room? You guys might just be saying that as a joke on an outside setting, but inside it's already implanting the thing. Like, oh shit, maybe my room is fucking completely horrible, so on and so forth. Um, well, I can agree on that. Yeah, exactly. Oof, fan. Oof. And then that's the thing, is like the subtleties or like the implanted commands like that. Um, there tends to be a book about it, like specifically with like neurolinguistic programming and like how to like put subconscious commands or like small commands like that. And it can be fucking annoying, especially if you're from the outside, like watching it happen. You can be like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? But if it's someone you trust, like a source that you trust or someone that you trust, sometimes you'll just take it and you'll be like, what are you talking about? That what? You know? How much can you do for someone without overstepping your boundaries? Like, you can't solve your problems. You can't solve all the problems for your partner, because then, like, first off, if they didn't ask for it, they're gonna get fucking pissed. Yeah, okay. Yeah, like, you can't necessarily go through everything like that. You can't solve all of your partner's issues. You can't like take all of their shit for them. I mean, like they got to figure some shit out as well. And also they got to ask for help. Like overstepping boundaries like that can lead to a lot of fucking issues really quickly. Trying to be the hero of everything. Oh, no way. No way. As soon as I saw that, I thought, bruh. Bruh. Duck and weave, brother, duck and weave. Bruh. Oh, shit. Fuck, dude. What the fuck? Duck and weave ain't gonna work if you're on the ground bleeding. What the fuck, dude? Oh no. Oh no. Oh shit, dude. And they disappear. Oh, it might be jealousy. Okay, it might be just a strong sense of jealousy here, and uh, type of like, I don't know, kill you vibe. You don't fit my expectations, so I'm gonna take it out on you. Uh, Something like that. I don't know, dude. Like ape shit activated. My glasses are dirty as fuck too. But no, I'm just surprised that like they let it go on this long, Like the fact that like this happened, right? And I just love how chill Senju was about it in the first place. But like just being like, hey, I brought it back, you sort of left it at my place and like the thing is gone. But yet your significant other is on the ground bleeding and you're not gonna be like, yo, did you fall? Like what the fuck is going on, you know? Like I don't know, guys. I'm just blown away by it. Like as always, Bake always seems to intrigue you and seems to have a lot more mystery as to what's happening. Uh, though I wonder if this is by her own decision or if it's just driven strictly by emotions in this case, you know? Damn, dude. Damn. Did you fall? Well, even if you know someone can heal, you also have to be like, "Yo, what's going on?" You know. But all right, guys. With that being said, that brings us to the end of Bakemonogatari. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. That was a lot. You can't cry. uh, that was a lot to take in. I feel like my brain's just overloaded from Bake itself. It always tends to happen with Bake, dude. Fuck.